Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. In this episode, we're going to be doing predatory plants. Alright, so I'm just going to jump right into it. When I cook in the backyard, sometimes flies come around, other insects, and they can become pests, and I don't want them on my food. So I'm in Lowe's, and I noticed this bug-biting plant, and I said to myself, would that really work? So I bought it. It was about $10. Okay, so I bought it, put everything together, added the seeds. Then as soon as I got to the end of the project, it said allow for 4 to 8 weeks to see results. I wasn't going to wait 4 to 8 weeks to see any kind of results, so I went online and did some research. Alright, so I went online and found this really cool company called Predatory Plants, and I immediately ordered the Carmovorous Plant Beginners Collection, and this is what I'll be doing in the video today. Alright, so here's what you're going to need. 3 plastic pots, some organic peat moss, some organic perlite, distilled or rainwater, small shovel, drill with drill bit. The plants already come with peat moss. It was really nicely packaged, so we're going to add some distilled water and let it soak for about 15 minutes. I should have really had gloves for this one, but let me submerge the peat moss and then we'll continue with the process. What fun is it if you can't put a spin on certain things? So what I initially did was picked out 3 pots, 3 larger pots, because I really only want to plant these things only one time. So I'm not using their pots that came with the shipment because those are really too small. And like I said, I only want to plant these once. Let me drill these holes and then I'll explain. Oh, and by the way, the plants ended up costing me around $55 for the beginner kit, and that included shipping and handling. Plastic pots are the best for this application. It's the safest way to grow your carnivorous plants, is what I learned. You don't want to use terracotta or anything else. You want to use plastic. And the reason I'm drilling these holes is you don't want water to sit in there either. You just want it to stay moist and you want it to run. And need I say it again, only distilled water or natural rainwater. And I'll show you a container that I use to catch natural rainwater later in the video. Alright, so now we're going to add the perlite. And yeah, I use organic, I use nothing with Miracle-Gro. You don't want to add Miracle-Gro to any of these plants. It's not going to make them grow any faster, it's actually going to hurt them. Alright, so now it's time for the peat moss. Yeah, I picked up a bale, but I use peat moss around the yard. It's excellent for stuff. Again, totally natural, totally organic. You don't want to use any kind of topsoil or dirt in this. It will kill your plant. So we're using peat moss, and I'm adding peat moss and the perlite, and I'm going to mix it around. So just check this out. So I'm gonna mix this all in and make sure it's all evenly distributed around the pot, meaning that there's not more perlite in one area. And then I'm gonna add the plant, so stick around. Peat moss has been soaking for about 15 minutes, and now I'm ready to add it to the plant. So first up is our Venus flytrap. They come very well packaged in a plastic bag, and they also have like this blue shop paper around the root. You do not want to disrupt the root ball. You want to just gently remove the blue shop paper, dig a hole deep enough so the root ball will go down, and then add some of the peat moss that you soaked for 20 minutes around the root generously, and sink it in the hole and cover up your plant. Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit more peat moss around the top of the plant and on top of the other peat moss that's in the pot, just to add as a little blanket for security. I believe this will make it stay moist. Next up is our Dorsia capensis. This is an albino plant. And again, it's the same process. You gently remove the shop paper. You do not disrupt the root ball. You dig a hole. You get the picture. So last but not least is Nepenthes Gaea. And I believe this is a hybrid. I'll follow up on that in my next video. And yes, you don't want to disturb the root ball on this. You don't want to break it apart and separate the plants. You want to keep all the plants together. This gives it a better chance of growing. Get that all set. Add the remainder of the peat moss. And then another waste not want, not moment. This is all distilled water. So So I'm gonna add a little bit of distilled water to every pot. And then I'm gonna top it up with some more peat to cover up the other peat moss that the plant came with. You know, that way it just adds as an insulator and helps me with my moisture. Oh, and by the way, if you like what we're doing here, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for stopping by the channel. I'll do a follow-up to this video in a couple of weeks, so look out for that one. But in the meantime, bye for now and walk good.